Jeff Mead, I really need your opinion on this. I'm an independent black man and I'm lost on who to vote for. After watching this video, I was Team Trump, but this has swayed my opinion. I need your response. Okay, let's see the video.
I'm going to just say this and I'm going to leave it alone. If you do not vote for Kamala Harris, you are going to be doing an injustice to America. The next commander-in-chief in less than 2 weeks will be able to appoint up to 3 Supreme Court justices. We already seen Roe v. Wade overturned. You can kiss gun legislation goodbye. You can kiss voting rights goodbye.
Okay, first off, saying you can kiss voting rights goodbye is top tier fear-mongering. He's not going to take away your right to vote. There's not even a good argument for this. They just fear-monger with this. So if he becomes president, you will still be able to vote. Let's let him continue.
You can kiss voting rights goodbye. He has already touted that he wants to be a dictator.
So Democrats and their supporters never tell you the context in which Trump said this, because if they gave you the context, it would destroy the point they're trying to make. Here's the context around it. Here's what he actually said.
He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator. That sounds...
So him being a dictator is him securing the border and unleashing American energy on day one. Again, they take it out of context and they use it as a tool to fearmonger. Let's continue.
He wants to have consolidated power. He wants to be able to fire federal employees at will and replace them with Trump loyalists. Imagine in America where one person rules over the power of many. Imagine that. And of all people, him. You wonder how Putin was able to consolidate power and do what he does? You wonder how Kim Jong-un was able to consolidate power and Hitler was able to consolidate power? These are his idols. These are the people that he idolizes.
Again, more intense fear-mongering. Democrats will take whatever they can and they will use it to demonize Trump. So if Trump calls a spade, for example, if he says that Putin did something smart, right, they're going to say, oh, he idolizes Putin. Same thing with Kim Jong-un. If he says he did something smart, oh, he idolizes him. There's no legitimate proof that Trump idolizes any of them. The man is just real in the way he talks. You can say someone made a good move without idolizing them. Again, Democrats have to distract you from the failings of their policy. Just pay attention. Notice, he's not saying, hey, you should vote for Kamala Harris because she's better in all these ways. No, he's trying to scare the piss out of you, and then you'll vote for Kamala Harris. Again, there's no legitimate proof that Trump idolizes any of these dictators. And a lot of time, Democrats rely on hearsay. He said, she said, and this is what Trump said, but they have no proof of it. Then they go push that out to the masses. Just like them coming out and saying, well, John Kelly said that Trump said he needs soldiers like Hitler. Where's the proof? Oh, there is no proof. He just said it. Okay. And they rely on that. You can't prove that or disprove it. So they push it as hard as they can. But he wasn't done. Let's let him continue.
You got to understand that's what's at stake. He's talking about appointing Elon Musk over the Government Efficiency Agency. Do y'all know what the Government Efficiency Agency is responsible for?
No, we don't, because there is no such thing as the Government Efficiency Agency. That doesn't exist right now. They want to create the Department of Government Efficiency because our government is wasteful. It wastes a lot of money. Not to mention the amount of debt we are taking on is severely outpacing our GDP growth and our tax revenue growth. But before I get into that, I'm going to let him say a little bit more. Now, I want to remind you that he's telling you the roles of an organization that does not exist right now. Keep that in mind. And if you don't believe me, Google Government Efficiency Agency, and you'll see that it does not come up. And me showing you this is kind of proof that he doesn't really know what he's talking about. But let's see what he had to say about this organization.
I'm talking about appointing Elon Musk over the Government Efficiency Agency. Do y'all know what the Government Efficiency Agency is responsible for? It's responsible for your healthcare. Any type of federal supplemental benefits that you get, whether it be Social Security, whether it be your healthcare, whether it be subsidies for homes, FHA loans, whatever.
This is not true. For one, again, he's telling you the responsibilities of an organization that does not exist. The goal of this organization that does not exist yet would be to increase the government's efficiency. And he's going to try to fearmonger and tell you, well, they're going to take away all your benefits and everything you have is going to be slashed because the billionaires don't care about anything but themselves, yada, yada, yada. That's the fearmongering that he's doing. But here's the reality that he doesn't want to tell you. This right here is the US GDP from 2000 until 2024. As you can see, it goes from about 10 trillion to about $26 trillion in 24 years. Think of GDP kind of like the value of the economic output of the US. Okay, this increased by 146% in that time frame in 24 years. Okay, now let's look at the tax revenue for that same period of time. You can see that it goes from 2.03 trillion to 4.66 trillion. So from 2000 until 2024, the government's revenue from taxes increased by 129%. I want you to keep that number in mind, 129%. That is how much from 2020 until 2024, the amount of revenue our government is taking in, that's the amount it has increased over that time, 129%. Now, let's look at the rate that the debt has increased in that same period of time. In 2000, our national debt was 5.67 trillion. As of 2024, it's 35.27 trillion. That is a 522% increase in our debt. Our debt is outpacing our tax revenue by more than 300%. In other words, that's not sustainable. At this rate, our government will go bankrupt. And if our government goes bankrupt, all the social safety nets he's talking about, Section 8, food stamps, credits towards whatever, right? All that is going to be done. Our government has to be financially healthy. Just to make this very simple, if you get to a point where your credit card debt payments are $10,000 a month and you only make $9,000 a month, what does that mean for you? You cannot afford to live. You can't afford to pay anything. You can't afford to do anything. That is the pace that our government is on unless we change course. So the Department of Government Efficiency is to make sure that you and our tax dollars are actually spent wisely, that we're not paying an insane amount of people to do simple jobs, that we're not taking on a bunch of debt we don't need to. And Elon Musk is the absolute best person on the planet to do that job. Go find me somebody that's more efficient than Elon Musk. Let's think about his companies: Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, Neuralink, X. He bought Twitter, fired 75% of the staff. Now Twitter has more users than it did then, and it also has more features than it did then. I want you to think about that. That is efficiency. He's the perfect man for the job. They're not going to take away all your rights and all your benefits. That's not what it is. Again, that's him ignorantly fear-mongering. Now I'm going to change course a bit because this video is getting long and I only have like 2.5 minutes left. Oh, I almost forgot to say this. So what they're doing is they're trying to keep America financially healthy so America can actually be prosperous and also have the ability to take care of its people. Also, the right focuses on MEI, the left focuses on DEI. MEI is meritocracy, excellence, and intelligence. DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. MEI means the best person that's qualified for that job gets that job. DEI doesn't mean that. DEI means we're going to break it up amongst your sexual preference, your race, and your gender. We're going to focus more on diversity rather than efficiency. Me personally, I want to be on the side of MEI. MEI is the fairest way to do it. That's how you actually make things colorblind. It's not dividing people based on their race, sexual orientation, and gender. Under the Biden-Harris administration, record levels of illegal immigration have taken place. The price of fentanyl per pill has went from $10 to 25 cents a pill. Rough math suggests that would require a 40x increase in the supply of fentanyl in this country. There have been over 13,000 people convicted of murder let into this country. The amount of individuals with significant ties to terrorism that have been apprehended has went up by like 5x. Those are the ones they caught. This administration came and literally poured gasoline on the fire of inflation. You know who that hurts the most? The people with the least amount of assets that make the least amount of money. Do you know who that is in the US? People that look like you and me. Democratic policy hurts us in a lot of ways and we don't even know it. And how that hurts a lot of us is, again, we don't have assets. So when inflation happens, the value of assets go up, but wages don't keep up with inflation. So people are making more money, but they feel more broke than they ever have been. And they don't have assets to counteract that because, again, the assets go up in price. The more dollars that are in circulation, the less valuable the dollars are and the more valuable everything else is. The reality is they have to resort to fear-mongering because their policies have not been making people's lives better. For example, think about this. Why are there a lot more people moving from California and New York to Florida and Texas rather than people moving from Florida and Texas to California and New York? People like the rights policies better. So yeah, this is my response. Don't let them scare you. Trump's not going to turn into an evil dictator and take over all of America. He's not going to take away your right to vote. They don't know what they're talking about. Be on the side of MEI, not DEI. So yeah, that's all I got. I got about 6 seconds left, so I hope this helps.